was talking, I was doing some work with Jeff Kavanaugh this morning, and we were kind of going through like positions. We're always, we're worried about this, worried about that, and everybody talks about the defensive tackle position. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this and ask you guys this question. Is it really just the defensive tackle's fault for the lack of run defense here?
No.
And I ask this because the more that I've dove into what some of the issues were, it's really not all on the defensive tackle spot, because if you look at where the Cowboys were one of the worst in the National Football League with where the ball was run against them. Teams ran the ball on the edge against them almost 60% of the time.
Feasting on the outside.
The outside part of it, but we focus, and I say this because I think as fans, we immediately think defensive tackle problems. But you also, I'm in that mode right now where, okay, I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, yeah, it is. Ball's going to the edge. Ball's getting to the outside. It's not at the tackles. It's on the outside again. And I'm looking at this, and I'm watching the tape of things of how they're playing run defense. And then I go in and I look at some metrics, and I say 871 yards before contact. It was the fifth worst in the league when it came to that, when it came to where they were picking up ball carriers.
Everybody's getting blown off the ball.
Yeah. To me, I'm looking at a team also that only had 52 run stuffs when it came to. That was worst in the league. Just give you an example. Cleveland Browns were the best team in the league when it came to playing the run, when it came to run stops, where it's at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage stuffs, no gain, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. 110 of those.
Wow, so they more than doubled you up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the difference between, and then when you watch, and I challenge people, don't let defensive tackle be this low-hanging fruit.
I do think if you had great defensive tackle play, your guys would run more freely. They'd be in spots.
That's a myth at times.
Okay.
That's a myth. Well,
I don't want to let everybody off the hook. But
I'm not letting
Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas, Mukuwamu, all guys were talking about playing slot or stepping up in safety, all horrible against the run.
Yeah. Example. If you now, I'm going to use Pro Football Focus's run defensive grades for these players.
Yeah.
And you tell me if it's fair or not. Micah Parsons' run defensive grade is 65.5. That's 44th for his position out of 116. Okay.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. How about Diggs, the corner?
Bottom 10%.
43.9. He's 101st out of 105 playing run defense off the edge.
Bottom 5%. That's no surprise at all.
Oso Digizua, 50.8.
Yeah.
77 out of 144.
That's why overall he's like the 25th best defensive tackle, even though he's top 5 as a pass rusher.
Wilson, the safety, 56.6. He's 67th out of 96 safeties playing.
And he's the second best safety you have in run defense, even though it's horrible. And Malik Hooker is actually like the best run-stopping defensive back they have.
Yeah,
Am I right on
77.8. He's 63 out of 93.
He's fast and tough. That's enough to get the job done better than anybody else.
I challenge folks out there to be better at this. Okay? I challenge you to, and I'm not saying you have to be a former scout or anything like, but you can take NFL.com and you can go look at the best run defenses in the league. You can. You could sit down, you have a little time, and you really want to learn about this. Go watch who plays run defense and how they play it well. And then go back and watch what your Dallas Cowboys do. Mike Zimmer and them, I mean,
they go get Kenneth Murray Jr. to fix it.
Yeah, yards after contact or yards before contact. You talk about the players, and I went through a sample size of all the positions. I didn't just focus on, Mazi Smith, sure, his defense, that to me is low-hanging fruit. We know that Mazi struggles to play the run. We get it. But I think right now we're into that point where we just get so focused on one position, where in reality, they're not good. They're not good on the edge. They're not good at tackle. Linebackers struggled. Corners struggled. Safety struggled. That's why you play bad run defense right there.
Mm-hmm. Team effort to be this bad.
But we tend to focus too much.
I mean, that one technique defensive tackle is the only spot on defense where that's all you're asked to do. Please be tough against the run, get some TFLs, and knock your dudes down. And we're not doing that either. You know, so I don't want to let the defensive tackles off.
No, I'm not letting anybody. That's why I put. I mean, I didn't put Mazi Smith in there because we all know that Mazi Smith struggles. That's low hanging fruit to me. You've got to get better at that spot. But
we got to hope that Sanborn helps fix it and Murray position change makes him less vulnerable.
I think to me that they've got to. This is where I think that when you look at Wilson, and I said I teased something earlier about this.
Yeah.
And Doss, I don't know if you talked about, because you and I talked about it this weekend. Did you mention anything about? Go ahead.
Yeah.
And you did this. You did this on a podcast.
Yeah.
And you and I were working on this together, and you and I had questions. Go ahead. Your podcast said this.
Yeah, we were wondering about Donovan Wilson, and everybody was writing he's going to be a post-June 1 cut. So, I wrote about it, howboutwow.com. I did a video about it on YouTube, How About Wow, all one word. You could go watch it. But, I think this is a huge decision for the Cowboys because they got to stop the run. He's second best safety at stopping the run. He gives you the splash plays. His coverage is horrible. But $7 million, Brian, you know, that could go get you a defensive tackle and a linebacker and some other spots that could make you better. It could get you a tackling cornerback. I think Kendall Fuller is out there. Yeah. But they'd rather have Wilson at $7 million is my understanding. And they kind of don't know where the talk is coming from.
And here you go. And this is what I heard over the weekend. I had somebody in the front office reach out to me and says, why do you guys trying to keep getting rid of Donovan Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep trying to get rid of him? And I'm like, well, the coverage aspect and all that. And he goes,
24 wasn't good. But he still had 3 takeaways?
Yeah. See, to me, and it has been. We've talked about guys that maybe they can move on from this guy or they need to change this guy. And you're looking at stuff that's happening. With Bell, could Bell be in the mix here? This Clark who they brought in from Syracuse, the rookie who's getting some reps with the ones. Could this guy be somebody all of a sudden, it's kind of lining up that, well, wait a minute, you've extended Bell and Thomas and you gave one of the highest guarantees to a rookie free agent and Clark.
And he's getting reps with the ones. Obviously, we have questions now about the status of Donovan Wilson when you have an undrafted Syracuse no-name getting reps with the ones.
But then I get the this doesn't make a lot of sense.
They're very legitimate questions, though. I mean,
no, they're absolutely, because.
But in their mind, it's like, this dude's safe.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing that I'm kind of looking at right now. There's like, me personally, I'd like to see them try. Yeah, let Thomas play, let Bell play. I think those guys catch a breath of fresh air.
Sure.
Because of the coaching change.
We need to rotate it though, because none of them can do it all. Yeah. Like Wilson's going to give you a little bit better run defense and big plays, but Wanya Thomas and Bell are both a lot better in coverage.
Right.
So I think Flus is looking at it like, if I go with Bell and Thomas, we're not going to get any big plays, and we're going to be even worse against the run. So I can kind of rotate guys in, can I?
I think to me that maybe that, and like I said, the thing with Hooker and Wilson, the run grades are not bad.
Right.
But could you do better at the spot? We've seen Bell as a linebacker make almost every single tackle.
But not with the guys here though.
Well, but do you give him the opportunity because of the toughness? And I'm not just talking about the safety position. I'm talking about they need to figure out what's going on in the corners. They need to figure out the edges. Those edges, they need. I think they go out and get Turner to go play run defense. Mm-hmm. He's not a pass rusher, but. My whole point is we need to be better when we're evaluating this. We need to be better at like looking at, it's just not a defensive tackle problem. It's a problem when you really, really break it down that they have some fundamental problems. And listen, Matt Eberflus, some of the stuff at the Bears, very comparable to what Dallas was going through. Mm-hmm. Very comparable. So, if you think that's, throw the magic.
But with the Colts and Bears, he did stop the run.
He did with the Colts. But if you go through and metric and I'm going to look at some of his tape but if you go through and metric it, it's very similar. There's some very similar things.
Yeah, it's not incredible.
It's not one of these things like, oh wow, he's shutting everybody down.
No, he's not.
It's more pressure and turnovers, big plays.
That's it.
Yeah. And I do think one of the reasons why we keep harping on the defensive tackle, and I'm with you, one, the average football fan, when they think about run defense, is not thinking about safeties and corners, even though they absolutely play a huge role. But the other thing, too, is like the Cowboys have addressed some things. You just name dropped the Turner guy as an edge defender who can stop the run. Yeah. You drafted Marshawn Nealon to be sort of that guy as well. You've done things. You've had some turnover at linebacker. What have you done at defensive tackle? You haven't addressed it. It's supposed to be low-hanging fruit. We all know Mazi Smith sucks. We all know Osa, solid pass rusher, not much of a run defender. They haven't done anything about it. At least you could say, hey, they've tried at edge to get some run stoppers.
They got a 342-pound.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful about him. But it's like you spent a 7th-round pick on him.
But it's at least it's like it's not a retread. It's a guy that showed at UCLA that he could play the run.
Yeah, I'm super hopeful
I'm just saying that we focus just on the defensive tackle spot when it's really a bigger picture problem than it is just defensive tackle.
Totally. You're 100% right.
Yeah. We got 2 hours down, 3 to go. Krusty's Corner brought to you by Reliant Air Conditioning. Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you.
Yeah, always every day 340 here is.
Hey. A lot of piss poor stuff.
Yeah, that was good. Yes.
Not today. I mean,
you developed a narrative. You had supporting evidence, some stats.
I was thinking he was like the football Matlock in here.
What is this?
Dialed in the courtroom.
No, I just all of a sudden woke up and decided, you know what? And they need to be better at defensive tackle. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But we need to be smarter as fans and don't go for the low-hanging fruit. Go out and try and figure some things out. You don't have to be a former scout to do this.
There's 9-10 other dudes on the field that are contributing to being an awful
Absolutely.
run defense.
You could see it with your own eyes.